Hello there YouTube, it's Gojira Prime with another Transformers video review, and today we're taking a look at Transformers Generation Select's Bugbite. Now, I have to admit, Bugbite is a character I had literally no knowledge of, save for one or two vague references, and I wasn't initially even going to get the toy for this character as I didn't really know anything about him. However, I was able to find him on eBay at a decent price, and I decided, you know what, I'll get the toy. It looks quite nice, and it's something a little bit different for my collection. So prior to this video, I did a bit of reading on the TF Wiki to try and find out who Bugbite is, and why he's a part of the Generation Selects line. And it turns out that Bugbite himself isn't even a Transformer. He is in fact a character originally from the Transformers competing line of the GoBots. This character originated in the Rise of the GoBots franchise, which was competing with the Transformers franchise in the 1980s. Now, back then, GoBots, which I do actually quite like myself, actually, I do like the cartoon of GoBots. Hasbro bought out the company that made GoBots, and with it, all the trademark names that went along with it. And this particular character of Bugbite was first introduced into the Transformers canon through the Timelines comics books that were part of the original BotCon series, BotCon conventions many years ago. And his backstory was that he was a GoBot, part of the Renegade faction, their version of the Decepticons, who traveled into the Transformers universe in an attempt to stop the destruction of his universe, along with a team of GoBots who were comprised of both the Renegades and the Guardians being the Autobot versions, the GoBot versions of the Autobots. Now, he's only really ever had toys that were produced through collector's editions or convention exclusives. The first version of Bugbite as part of the Transformers franchise was originally a eHobby exclusive, which was released in 2004 and was basically a white repaint of Bumblebee with a Decepticon logo on the chest. Now, after that, the next toy for Bugbite was actually released as part of the Games of Deception multi-pack in 2007 as part of the 2007 BotCon franchise. And that was released in a box, one of their really nice big box sets with Dirge, Dreadwing, Thrust, and Thundercracker. And apparently there were only 1,500 of these figures ever produced. Now, just for the record, I'm not running this stuff off the top of my head. I actually have my laptop next to me referencing this as I go. So this particular figure of Bugbite we have here is the third figure for Bugbite that's ever been produced as part of the Transformers line. And again, it's a repaint and a slight retool of a figure we've already seen as part of a mainstream line, and that is Earthrise Cliffjumper. So for a character that's pretty obscure, really, in Transformers fandom, this guy has had quite a few toys. So we'll start off with the toy in its car mode, and we'll just run through what we have. Now, essentially, as I said, this is just a repaint and a slight retool in that it has a new head sculpt of Cliffjumper. It comes with all of Cliffjumper's accessories, so you have the very large cannon, which he somehow managed to miss Megatron with, and you also have the skis on the bottom here as well. I'll just take the cannon and the skis off for now. Now, aside from the difference in color, this is pretty much a completely the same figure as the Cliff Jumper figure we got earlier in the year, and this is basically all white with blacked out windows. It goes together. It's as cars go. It's a nice car mode. I really do quite like the car mode. I just wish they had maybe done a bit of paint on the back, maybe in regard to the lights, made them a slightly different color, just to give it a bit of definition, and maybe something along the midsection here. If you see this line here, the bumper stop line, I think it's sometimes called on real cars, it would have been nice if that had been done in black or maybe purple perhaps, just to give it a bit of slight definition. I mean, we do have the black here on the front, so it would have been nice just to break up the sides and break up the rear a little bit. I may actually try my hand with a little bit of paint when I feel brave enough and just see if I can do that myself. We also have the Mercenary logo here as well. Now, if I remember correctly, Bugbite does turn up in the Siege cartoon, and I think possibly in the Earthrise trailers as well. And he is a member of the Mercenary faction in this version of Transformers. The Mercenaries being basically Transformers who are not aligned to the Autobots or the Decepticons, but actually work for Soundwave's clone Sound Blaster in the show. But yeah, aside from that, it's pretty much Cliff Jumper in car mode, just basically white with a little bit of black. So what I'll do is I'll just pause the video, I'll get him transformed, and then we'll do a comparison of his robot mode. Okay, so now we have Bugbite transformed into his robot mode, and as you can pretty much see, body-wise, it is completely the same as Cliff Jumper, and I would also assume this is also going to be completely the same as the Bumblebee figure, aside from the feet, when that figure comes out later this month or the beginning of next year. Now, I have the big bazooka gun broken down into its separate components. So I have the two halves of the gun in his hands, with the skis acting as kind of like ammo clips. And then the back of the gun I have plugged into his arm here as kind of like an arm shoulder mounted cannon. The head sculpt is Bumblebee's head. It is just completely Bumblebee's head, just painted white, but with a silver face and quite nice red eyes actually on there as well to boot. But aside from that, he is basically just Cliff Jumper, painted white with a new head, all in all. But, I quite like the Cliff Jumper mold. So I'm not too disappointed with this figure in any way, shape, or form. I think it's a nice repaint of the figure, and it makes it into an interesting and different character, which we probably don't see a lot of in Transformers lore. Now, just to compare him with a couple of different figures, here he is with his original configuration, i.e. Cliff Jumper, and as I said, they are practically the same. The other big difference is instead of the translucent blue we get on Cliff Jumper, it's just an all-black windscreen on him here. I think one improvement that Bugbite does have over Cliff Jumper is that he does actually have a faction symbol on him. Cliff Jumper does not have a faction symbol on him, but he does have more paint to break up the red. If you look here, instead of the all black that Bugbite has, Cliff Jumper has black and silver on his bumper section, and on the feet we also get a bit more definition as well, I think there. No, actually Bugbite's feet do have some silver on them. They've got some silver in the little lights and then on the bumper, but it's not a whole great deal. But all in all, I'm quite pleased with Bugbite. I do like the figure. I am actually hoping that maybe Hasbro and Takara bring out the other characters from the GoBots crossover that there was. I think there were about 4 or 5 of them in total. But yeah, with Cliffjumper, he does look quite nice. You can tell they're a separate character at the end of the day, but you know, I quite like this remold and repaint. I like the head sculpt. I like the paint job. It's a bit bland, yes, being white, but you know, there you go. Now, just as a further comparison, here he is next to his other Generations Selects counterpart, Decepticon Exhaust. Just move that back a bit. There we go. So that's him next to his mercenary counterpart, Exhaust. And I think when it does come out for pre-order, I'll end up ordering Sound Blaster as well to go with these guys, just to complete the trio, because they do look quite nice, actually. And then here he is next to his other Generation Selects counterpart, Transformers Voyager Selects Super Megatron. And he's quite a bit smaller than Megatron, to say the least. I mean, if I get Exhaust in here as well, you can see the size difference between these guys. They are quite big compared to Exhaust. So, final thoughts on Bugbite. If you are looking for a different, somewhat unique character, something you've probably not heard of before or maybe not even given much thought of, then this is probably a figure you'd like to pick up. If you do like the Earthrise Cliffjumper mold, and let's face it, it's been getting reused a lot. This is its 3rd incarnation. We've had Cliffjumper, we've had Hubcap, we've now got Bugbite, Bumblebee's on the way soon. You know, if you do like this mold, and you know, this is a figure you'll enjoy as well. So I think it's worth picking up. It's something a little bit unusual, something a little bit different. And if you are looking for mercenary figures, then obviously these two do go together quite well and nicely. So that's my thoughts, my feelings. Very quick review on Bugbite. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Please hit the like button, hit subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.